Welcome to the Invisible Marketer Podcast. I'm your host, Kalina. In this episode, I sat down with fellow introvert, Joseph Kahn. Now, Joseph is famous for his Harmonic blueprint. And in this episode, we talk about SEO strategies, music, the challenges that many businesses face, and how ChatGPT can be one of the most important assets to have in your business. If you would like to access today's show notes and learn where you can go to follow him on his journey, head on over to invisiblemarketer.com/Joseph. Let's dive on in.
I want to talk about the music and the correlation to SEO. Were you talking about that on social media? It's such a complicated topic. You've explained it really well.
I like to look at it like this because a lot of people were mentioning Google and the algorithm. My background is music. I went to Georgia State University for music. I got a Berkeley College of Music just recently. Was in a rock band. As an older person in a rock band is a little bit different than a younger person in a rock band, but I got to do a little bit of touring and stuff in Atlanta. It was about 6 or 7 years ago. When the pandemic hit, you were no longer able to tour or able to be in the public sphere. And I moved out to the West Coast and my son was just getting started in life. And so we're like, what's going on in the horizon? And that's when I decided to do SEO. From my previous marketing background, previous technology background, it was a random choice back in 2001. My son said, let's do an agency. Let's do SEO. This was in 2001. I had done a little marketing, a little SEO, a little of that stuff back with John Maxwell when I was the CTO, CIO in the year 2000. That was a long time ago. And it wasn't quite as heavy as it is today. It was super easy to rank back then. Google wasn't as well known. Facebook didn't exist back when I was the CIO for John Maxwell. Fast forward many years, I got a lot of my money and went back to Berkeley College of Music and then did the rock thing. I sold a lot of Bitcoin. I did Bitcoin mining prior to 2013. I didn't sell at the big numbers. I sold at way lower numbers, but went back to Berkeley College of Music. I started going through certifications in SEO and everybody was giving away their certifications for free. From to Moz to some of the big names that you hear around there, they gave away their certifications for free. Generally, they cost $1,000, $2,000, whatever. I got nothing else to do except for go through this training. So I'm going through this training and watching it going, this is a lot like music. This is music. This Google stuff is how you write a song. How you get a fan is how you get a fan in music. I started putting two and two together. Everything you're teaching me here is the music world, is the way the music that touches the chakra, the notes on the scale that reaches the person's thoughts and their feelings. And I'm like, this is Google's intentions. This is the E algorithm. Once I started thinking about that, I started developing the Harmonic blueprint is what I called it. And that's basically building a chord, just like in music, because it made sense that you couldn't just do one note and you recognize the song. But if I could do a chord, like 3 notes or 4 notes, then you'd go, I know that song. I could play you 4 notes to Happy Birthday and you know it. I could play you 4 notes to a Katy Perry song, you know it. Meaning you instantly know it just by 4 notes. But if I give you 2 notes or 1 note, you're not going to know it. It would be just like everybody else or sound like everybody else or what, just 1 note or 2 notes. Most people are doing 1 or 2 note marketing. That's all they're doing. So no wonder people don't hear them. No wonder people don't find them or know what they're trying to do. Add that 3rd note to the chord, add that 4th note to the chord, and magic started happening. I got invited to speak at a conference because we sold a $6,500 Bugs Bunny painting. Bugs Bunny over there, or wherever he is, right there on my shelf. We sold a $6,500 Bugs Bunny painting with a web page, with a single page and a single search. We did that. We said, okay, we have this painting here. What would somebody be humming or thinking about or singing to want this painting? And that's how we literally built the campaign. We did a HumJam. HumJam.com is our agency that we've had now since 2001. Let's hum up some ideas. And then that became your main keyword, your main intentions, the main thing that you were creating the content around or the concept around. And then You said, now we got to write the song. And the song is the lyrics. The song is the words that go along with it. The song is like, if you're writing a love song, you have intentions towards that. So when you're creating something for, say, an HVAC services, is there a man or woman crying that they're too hot right now? What is the song they're singing? Because we can start playing that radio station that they're trying to dial into. Do you see what I mean? I thought we're dialing in. It's the same kind of concept. So whenever I was thinking about SEO, I was like, so how do I be competitive? How can I be better than the average person? That's do it in a different way that's more engaged. How can I be a better musician? How can I provide better music? How can I be a Lady Gaga? How can I do that? Do you want to be a Rihanna? It's called layers. You want to be a Lady Gaga? It's called layers, right? You got to have layers. And it's the layers that build that full audio, that full experience, that full thing. And that's how I built the whole Harmonic blueprint, is on these layers, these chords, this kind of musical thing. And Google, again, I always say this, Google's EAT is exactly like our Harmonic blueprint. Exactly. There's no difference between their new EAT. They just call it something different. You know what I mean? It's the same stuff. There's no difference. We'd call Google the auditorium. Google's where you play your thing. If you want to get in their top 10, the top 10 bands, you got to be playing the music everybody wants to hear.
Yeah. And knowing your audience is one of the biggest things.
It is.
To that.
It is. The funny thing is, since I had this background, it's how my band, that I told you the band, we won the top Atlanta band award. I was just telling my spouse how fun it was to play with T.I. I don't know if you've heard of T.I., but I got to be the drums behind T.I. for this concert that we got to play because we won this award. But the reason why we won the award is because we dialed in our marketing abilities, our ability to go, what does the audience want? What do they want to see? That's how we were different as a band.
Yeah.
All the other bands were just trying to play. We're playing music. I was like, what do people want to hear? I was making deals with the club owner. I was saying, look, what do you want to sell? Alcohol. All right, we'll write a song. We wrote a song called Fireball to sell more Fireball whiskey. And then I went to Fireball, the company, the whiskey company, and said, our band wrote a song called Fireball. Do you want to feature us? And they featured us, the Fireball Whiskey Company, because we wrote a song called Fireball. That's dialing in, right? You got to dial in to the listener.
See, and you have such a unique version of SEO, like Harmonic and music. And it stands out in this competitive world.
Yeah.
It allows you to stand out. So when you're talking about that, then I'm automatically going to remember you as the person that helped me understand SEO better.
Yeah.
They related it to music. I do know SEO from back years ago and courses and stuff, but I'm just saying you explain it better than anyone I've ever seen explain.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
When I saw your talk on that, and it was just a clip.
I delivered an entire talk on it at SEO Rockstars in Las Vegas. There was an event called SEO Rockstars, and I was actually a rock star on the stage and teaching SEO. And this was back in 2022, I think. I did the SEO Rockstars and trained everybody on how to do Harmonic SEO. The last time I taught it, and it was really deep on the harmonics, and somebody said, can you dumb that down a little bit for the non-musicians? And so that's where Marketer's Edge, Optimizer's Edge came from. Optimizer's Edge doesn't have the harmonic stuff in it. We had the Hum Jam Academy, and all of the previous training that I've done is all harmonically focused, but this new thing is not. Right now in my community where I'm delivering it is on Thursdays. There are people who bought the 7-figure agency mastermind. Comes with training, comes with recordings, comes with the ClickUp template that runs it. It's all based on focal point and running rituals and it's all this harmonic thing that these clients a year ago bought at a webinar. So that's still being delivered, and that's in there. And that's the only place where all of the recordings, 10 weeks of harmonic training is in the free community. We sold that for $7,000. Yeah. But it was a year's worth of coaching. We're just coming up on the end right now.
I'm a huge introvert, and my podcast is about introvert. But was there ever a time that you struggled with that, or would you consider yourself any part of yourself be an introvert?
Tons. From the very, very beginning, it's the action part that actually helped, because nobody is going to look good on camera. That's what I was trying to tell my partner, because he's hesitant to get on camera too. And I'm like, no, you got to, man. You just got to rip that Band-Aid off and do it. The first time that I spoke in front of a large audience, I was so nervous. And my first audience, believe it or not, was 5,000 people at the Cobb Galleria in Atlanta. 5,000 people. I was working for Microsoft at the time. I was an introvert. I was scared. Literally, I was in the bathroom for hours before I went on stage. And I had a speaker coach. So Microsoft's like, we're not going to let you speak unless you have a coach. The coach told me to do a joke. All right. But I came out and bombed on that joke. They were like people just looking at me with dead faces. And I was like, kill me now. This is horrible. I can't believe this is happening to me. And what I didn't know, this is to tell the beginners, I didn't know how to wear a mic. And I had the mic pack on the front of my belt. And when I bent over, nobody's like laughing. This is horrible. So I'm like, let me go do a demo. Cause that was the thing I was doing for Microsoft, was to show them a demo on the computer. And as soon as I went over there, I bent over and my belly popped the pack off and yanked my headphone off, yanked the microphone off. And again, this is a big auditorium, 5,000 people. And it went kaboom, really loud, yanked my headset off in front of 5,000 people, right? I'm already nervous, already scared. And I'm like, oh my God, my heart is about to bounce out of my chest. And I lean down and I have no idea what I'm doing. I accidentally put the mic up to my mouth and I said, I hate it when that happens. And the whole audience laughed. Bill Cosby said it. Okay. And I didn't mean to say it like that. It was just that I put the microphone up too close to my mouth and it sounded like I meant to say it like that. Because I said, I hate it when that happened. Now, what even made it more funny was the audio guy forgot to turn my mic off as he's running from the stage all the way to me. Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening, to fix my mic. And the mic is on and he starts chastising me. And everybody in the auditorium can hear him chastising me because my mic is still hot. He didn't turn it off. So the beautiful thing is, even though the adrenaline, the fear, and the whole audience now was with me, it diffused them, it diffused me, it diffused my fear. All of a sudden now they're laughing at me. I'm like, whoa, look at what's going on. Why are they with me? Why are they with me? And the reason why is because they saw an imperfect person. And they all related to the imperfect person because nobody is perfect. And the more perfect you look on the video, the less people will relate to you. That's what one of my mentors just told me. The more perfect your video is, the less people will relate to you.
Yeah, I believe that. And I laugh a lot. I don't know if you've noticed that. That helps me through the nerves.
Oh, yeah.
I try to laugh.
That'll definitely, that laughter, man. That's what I said. When I said that and everybody laughed, boom, like the energy just went out, and that laughter took my fear away, took my energy away. So the laughter is definitely a good tactic. But the imperfect action and failure and the worst thing happening and any of that kind of stuff will be the best thing to happen. Your camera falling off of the thing and then you picking it back up going, oh my God, I can't believe that happened, will be the viral video. Remember like the viral stuff we were talking about? That will be your viral video and you'll be like, crap, I didn't mean to do that.
You hear of people forgetting to edit the whole video.
Yep.
It goes viral. And then people start feeling sorry for them.
Are you enjoying today's episode and feeling inspired by the stories and the strategies that you are hearing? I would like to personally invite you to be a part of a community that is filled with people from all walks of life. Inside of there, you will discover a welcoming space filled with fellow introverts and entrepreneurs who share their knowledge, exchange ideas, and support each other's growth. Whether you're a seasoned entrepreneur or you're new to this journey, our community is here to empower you every step of the way. You can gain access to exclusive training, insightful discussions, and valuable networking opportunities by joining our community today. Let's collaborate, learn, and grow together. Head on over to community.invisiblemarketer.com and become part of our amazing family.
There's a massive obstacle that had a major win. So for the listeners, this is a real challenge, especially anybody who has clients, like does marketing for clients for digital services, stuff like that. Most of the people that work with us know that I work with my son and it's a family business. And last year we got this big client that had a lot of influence in the market and we ended up revamping all of his service. We had about 35 of his clients that we were white labeling services and stuff like that. This happens to a lot of different agencies that may be working behind the scenes as white label because say say you don't have a big enough name to be the name. So you're working for bigger names under them. We were working under this guy, and literally he went on this big vacation with one of these big fluting people in the space. He came back and ghosted us a little bit when he came back from his big vacation, and then moved all of his hosting and started trying to leave us in the middle of the night without word. And then we're like, hey, what's going on? And he got angry and did this big thing, and then did this massive chargeback on us for 3 or 4 months of services that were $5,000 or more. He did like a $40,000 chargeback against us. Imagine getting a $40,000 chargeback from somebody that you trusted, somebody that you're doing all their work for, and then they basically say, I'm going to take all that cash back that I gave you. That's what happened. That's rough. That is the most horrible thing that could happen to any small business entrepreneur. Most people can't recover from that. Most people have a hard time because instantly our Stripe account got shut down. He committed a friendly fraud, meaning we over-delivered the services, but then he charged them all back because the Amex let him do it. But we still delivered the services, and you can't get your time back. So somebody charging back your time back, you can't get that back. Lucky for us, though, we won the chargeback, and that rarely happens. We won. Like, we actually won, and that's what I was going to tell you is the biggest success. This is the reason why I'm all into optimization, AI, that kind of thing. Who helped us win this chargeback fraud? Okay, so check it out. There were like 5 invoices of over $5,000 per invoice is what this guy charged back on us. Of course, Stripe shut us down. We became a fraudulent. We became all this kind of stuff because he said that we frauded him, and that's why he did this big, huge chargeback. So Stripe and everybody instantly assumes you're the scammer, right? So we instantly now can't charge our current clients. We literally got shut down financially by this guy. We reached out to everybody we possibly could. How do we fight this? And they said, you can't fight this at all. You've got to go through the channels that Stripes puts you through, and you have to let them decide. My lawyers wouldn't talk to me. They're like, you got to let the card holders decide. And then after that goes south, then we can get involved maybe. But if Amex says no, you're not going to win. Here's the thing. There was no information online how to beat this, how to fix this. We contacted everybody. We looked everywhere. We literally went everywhere, checked with everybody, checked with people. Most people that ever went into something this strong where they had a friendly fraud this big against them, and this happens to digital agencies like ours, never wins because they don't have the proof to prove that they did the work. Now, this is what I was going to tell you is what would help your listeners or help anybody listening to this testimonial. You know how we won? ChatGPT. I swear to freaking goodness. I talked to lawyers, I talked to people, whatever, didn't know how to help me, couldn't help me. I went to ChatGPT and said, I need your help badly, ChatGPT. I've got to defeat Amex in a friendly fraud chargeback. Do you know anything about friendly fraud? It's like, well, let me find out. I'll tell you if I know. Oh, okay, we know about friendly fraud. And then I just hammered ChatGPT. All right, tell me what I need to do, what I need to say, how I need to attack it. I just went at ChatGPT until I had a 20-page document telling me how to defeat this animal.
I love it.
That's because there was nothing out there to help me. And literally, I went through and ChatGPT helped me write the template. Stripe said, submit this document. And you're like, how do I do that? We're not going to tell you. We're not going to show you. We're not going to give you any indication how to do it right. You got to fend for yourself. I went through the Stripe, went through the dispute, and we won 5 Amex cases. Unheard of.
Yeah, it's really hard because I had one against me. Someone had disputed a charge. And I knew it was 100%. And I sent them the invoices and I ended up losing. And it shut my payment processor down.
You never win. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. You never win.
And I never could do business through them again. It was like a $200 payment, but it was the services that I provided. It wasn't that big, but I had no clue. And man, I wish I would have known that. You have to, like you said, hammer it down. But you can't just run one prompt and think it's going to be accurate.
I pretend like it's like R2-D2. You know what I mean? I'm Luke Skywalker and it's R2-D2. And I'm like, give me the stats here. Tell me this. Tell me that. It's helping me. This is my robot, right? Now think about this. So not only did we win the Amex chargeback, but we had a complete reversal, and Stripe had a complete reversal, but they reversed everything. They took all the fees back. They took everything back, said, we're restoring you back to the original. But that never happens. Everybody that I ever talked to says that never happens. Stripe never trusts you again after that. But the reason why they trust me is because of ChatGPT. If somebody says, who's your lawyer? ChatGPT.
I don't think I've ever met anyone that feels as strongly about ChatGPT.
Other than me, like I've been a fan for like,
that's what I'm saying. You are the only person that I've ever truly spoke with has the same feeling I do about ChatGPT. It's like, buddy.
So that's my biggest kind of challenge that just recently happened. And man, it mentally wrecked us too, because it was just like this big, huge, out of the blue. We didn't deserve it. It was just one of these things. And this guy was just this buffoon, not friendly at all, and did this to us. And he's nowhere to be found, by the way, anymore. He's completely gone. Because I would think that if he lost that big thing, that his Amex was taken away from him.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure he lost charging rights.
He would have still had to pay them back.
Exactly. I'm thinking that he would have lost charging ability pulling something like that. But anyways, I couldn't have done it without ChatGPT. I swear to goodness, I could not have done it without ChatGPT.
Yeah, I absolutely love that because I have been there before and I didn't have that help. I had Square for 4 years and it completely shut down my business.
We had to go from October. This happened in October and then November and then Christmas and stuff. And I told my son, I was like, look, we're just going to have to recalibrate in January and see how this works out, because Amex had until February, they were going to let us know a decision. So we were shut down, couldn't charge our clients or anybody we had until February of this year. So we had to wait to even see if we lost or if we had this big bill we had to pay back for our services that we did. This was going to be horrible, where we had to pay back this big chunk of $25,000 for work that we did. Then in February, we got the news, you won. Oh my God.
It
was only $25,000, but man, it felt like the lottery. We won. And I kept saying the win is ChatGPT. ChatGPT for the win. This would not have been won without ChatGPT. That was my savior. And that's what I told my current spouse. I said, I need to tell the entire world about this chargeback situation with ChatGPT. Like how many people lose and ChatGPT could help them win.
How do you handle failure?
How I handle any negative news or negative kind of setback or any of that kind of stuff is really stoicism. The stoic philosophy or stoic thoughts is helps me deal with failures or anything like that. Thinking or knowing that every challenge or issue or failure is the key or seed to my growth. To everything negative is an equal positive. That's the philosophy that helped. Like the chargeback thing. I had to look for what that was. In stoicism, this negative thing just happened to you. You just had a big failure. You've got to look for the positive of it. You feel the failure of it, but you have to go, okay, this happened because there's an equal positive in this failure. I just have to figure out what that is. Okay, I have to go, what is this teaching me? What is this showing me? Now, in fact, that whole chargeback thing taught me so much. Even my current partner goes, you're a way more prepared, better person after the chargeback issue than before the chargeback issue. To look and go, man, that was so painful. That hurt so bad. I felt so bad that happened. But then you think, but how far did you grow? How much did you have to learn? What was the things that you had to transform into in order to become the person you need to do? And that's how I handle all the failures is, why did this happen? And what is the thing that's equally well? And usually there's no loss because there's always a learn. And learn to me is always a win.
I try to learn from when I have handled failure and dealt with failure. I always say I may go to bed defeated, but when I wake up in the next morning, I got motivation to keep going. So you said something very interesting there. I was looking into what are some fears, what are the challenges that introverts face and how do they feel? Every introvert has a superpower. Yours is your SEO and harmonizing. And some think of being an introvert as this huge negative thing and they're never going to overcome it. When I was doing one of the prompts through ChatGPT, I was like, give me 10 reasons why it's amazing to be an introvert.
Oh man, yeah, I bet that came up with great content ideas for it, for sure.
Once I found those 10 things, I was like, okay, so I'm going to say one a day for 10 days. I'm going to do a daily affirmation until I become a confident introvert and be proud of my strengths as an introvert and know what my superpower is. I'm hoping that with my group and my community that I can help people figure out what those things are and turn that negative into being a positive. So I love how you related to that's how you handle setbacks. That's my process too.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome.
If someone wanted to reach out to you and connect with you and learn more about what you're doing, do you have a website? I know you have YouTube. You're on all socials pretty much.
Our community that we're launching, we're in pre-launch, where I'm going to be hanging out, doing calls like this, talking about SEO, talking about Harmonic SEO. Our first podcast call, live call like this, is what we call a ritual, optimizer ritual. So if you're a marketer, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're trying to get better response on your email, get better response on your SEO, get better response on, like you talked about, Facebook marketing, any of that kind of stuff, we're going to be bringing on experts, other guests, different people like that. And every single week, we are going to review 2 tools, like ChatGPT as a tool, for instance, a couple of tools, tell you about them, review them, whether they're good, bad, feedback, different stuff like that, show you how to use them, different tips or whatever. Every week, that community is going to be called Marketing Optimizers Edge.com. And that's with an S after Optimizers Edge. Marketing Optimizers Edge.com is the name of our community. We're on the cutting edge of marketing, of optimizing, because we're SEO experts, which is search engine optimizers. So that's why we're Marketing Optimizers Edge. And we optimize everything because we believe SEO includes email, includes all of those things. That's why we are now MO, Marketing Optimizers versus Search Engine Optimizers.
Well, do you have any final words for my audience that you might want to share?
You said your audience was introverted. There's something called Myers-Briggs. I'm sure you're familiar with Myers-Briggs. Usually people will say, I'm an INTJP or I'm an ENTJ or whatever. The E and the I means introvert versus extrovert. So I'm an ENTP. I'm actually an extrovert. The interesting thing about introverts and extroverts is you can play different models based on the conditioning around. So I always said that I'm an extrovert because I've always been a musician or a speaker or whatever. But in reality, I would rather be left alone. I get in trouble with my spouse. She's like, come to this thing with me, come to this thing with me or whatever. I'm like, I'd rather just be sitting at home. I'd rather just stay at home. That's the introvert, right? That's not the extrovert. We're like, nah, I just want to be by myself. The extrovert's like, I just want to go be out there. So the difference is ENTJ versus INTJ or P, which is what I said I was. I'm more probably introverted, is intuitive. Then you got perceiving versus judging. So just having the framework of introvert or extrovert is one phase of it, just like a chord. But if we add whether you're an introvert who's going to judge people, that's different than an introvert who's perceiving, or an introvert who's intuitive, like an intuitive introvert or an intuitive extrovert or whatever. So I would say, since you're introverted on this podcast, dive deeper, because there's an equal strength in being an introvert. Just like there's an equal good in every positive, there's an equal strength in every introvert, just like there's an equal weakness in every extrovert, kind of thing. So dive deeper and get to know who you are, and you're beautiful and amazing, just like yourself. We just have to take imperfect action and just be ourselves.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Invisible Marketer Podcast. I hope you enjoyed my conversation with Joseph. Now, if you found value in today's episode, make sure to follow us so that you don't miss out on the amazing guests that we bring to you each and every week. To access the show notes and find out how you can join Joseph's amazing community, head on over to invisiblemarketer.com/Joseph.
And as always, keep tuning in to discover even more strategies that are tailored to using your superpower of being an introvert to go out and make an impact. I will see you next time.